Choke, no joke. Chiggy choke, no joke. Choke, no joke. Chiggy choke, no joke. We in the building, baby. Come one, come all. Got some good news, and we got some sad news. Then we got some sad news that might be some good news to some people. You know, but we are in the building. My man Darius first up in the building. You already know membership gang is here. The Jenny in the building. True Magic in the building. My favorite Ramona in the building. Thanks for the love yesterday, Ramona, or earlier today. Z Bezos, what up? Walk on Wood, what up? McFly, what up? Yizzo, you already Nizzo. You already know. I am Sean in the building. Long time no see. My hair looking raggedy, as you can see. It's almost time to cut this bush off. Summertime is here. Summer, summer, summertime. TG, what up? I see you. Membership gang. Tonette. Peaceful Blue in the building, what up? Desiree Griffin, what up? Perry Jones, what up? PJ in the building. D Wan, what up? Carla in the building, what up? Choke no joke. We are in the building, baby. Come on, come on. Come on, come on. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like button as you come in. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. This is the best channel out of all channels where you're going to get the truth be told all day, every day, even on the holiday, even on your anniversary. All right. Yeah, my birthday's next month, man. And I had a whole trip paid for to go to Dubai. But mama is not raising no fool. And trust and believe, I am not going to Dubai now. I love Dubai too, man. But I'm not taking the risk of going out there and being stuck. I just and I'm speaking to my people that's out there that live out there. They like, oh, choke, the news, the way they talking about it, it's not as bad as it looked, choke. You know, it's just, we had a few bombs here and there. Nigga, what? It ain't that bad. You had a few bombs. Like, no, no, no. I'm not coming over there, B. I'll wait. God, by the blessed grace of God, Dubai is not going nowhere. So, for that reason, I'm going to chill out. And stay here. I don't know. I may book another cruise. Just do a cruise trip. I got the travel group telling me, yo, Joe, we need another trip. But I was looking so forward to going to Dubai. Oh my God, man. Now I gotta wait a whole nother year so I could try to go to Global Village. 'Cause that's what I was looking forward to this trip. Global Village. Man, we had a nice little crew growing too, man. But nobody's taking that type of chance. We had a nice group going. But choke no joke, I'm in the building. If you didn't know, now you know. You know, today Diddy went to court. It's looking really good for him. We had a loss in hip hop today. One of the founding fathers of the hip hop culture has passed away today. Uh, that and more, man. Joke, no joke. Let's get to the show. You already know. All right. Yeah, let's go.
I do it. This is a diss, would be specific. Hit you with a sub, you blacklisted. Her third tour, it's ridiculous. You in the crowd, babysitting. Mad at pics, fans flicking. You got a Billy, they dick licking. Kids, your son and dad missing. You duck in the swab, results prison. I see your faces, the mad prism. Y'all rats, are you kidding? And if you sign, you have no wisdom. Integrity missing, money mission. Lamar Latrells in your system. Camel licking, nerves switching. Are y'all kidding? Y'all Virginian. Success, y'all dream sex. Sold a lot of units, but still checks. Squares, Nike, I run with checks. People use Marcy as pets. I move his skin, you on your head. All your tunes are dead. You ugly like your dreads. No bag, I'm on your head. No fag, I'm my shooter. You the glad Duke shooter. You do balls but no hooters. Choke no joke, I am the future with no Malloy. You play with boys, be out here wishing she was a boy. You her decoy, you her bitch. Choke no joke, I am the shit. Yo Cam, get off my dick. Mad Jim, king of the dips. Without Jewels, you have no hits. Your last hit was True Life. When he caught you with that right. Yo Big Joe, am I right? Nigga Dane saved your life. And then you crossed him for home. Got on stage with Ho. You an actor, you ain't Poe. Joke, no joke. You already know. Yo, man, I'm done, man.
Shout out to my man Jack Brown on the ones and twos. Choke no joke. That's the new joint, the remix. The truth be told, I will be dropping that on all platforms in a minute. In a minute. Learn from mistakes 3 is about to drop. You heard? Choke no joke, man. You know what it is. All right. So that's right. You an actor, you ain't Poe. Joke, no joke. You already know. Mary, what up? All right. So, show no joke. We're in the building. If you've been under a rock, no pun intended, Jay-Z. You probably didn't hear some of the bad news that was let out today. Um, First things first, this is going to be a split in the hip hop community. For many of y'all that did not hear, the man of the year, Afrika Bambaataa, has passed away at the age of 67. If you don't know who Afrika Bambaataa is, He is the leader of the Zulu Nation. Uh, his real name was Lance Taylor. You know, he's a DJ, he's a rapper, he's a record producer. Um, Many of y'all know him from his hit record Planet Rock. Many of y'all know him from his group Zulu Nation. Some of y'all might know him from the Black Spades when he was in the gang. Um, and a lot of y'all know him from allegedly having some type of misconduct with Hassan Campbell and allegedly um, Ronald Savage. So over the last 2 years, uh, Afrika Bambaataa, he's been under the hot seat or on the hot seat, you know, because there was allegations of him messing with children or underage kids, you know, throughout his career. He has a big spotlight on him in the hip hop community because you had people like Ronald Savage, you had the Hassan Campbells, and you had other YouTubers, you know, that was doing these deep dives on Africa Bambaataa. You know, they had protests, they had news reports, they had protests to try to shut down the Zulu Nation and the hip hop museum. You know, now that, you know, Africa Bambaataa has passed away due to cancer, he had complications with cancer. That whole um I don't know where this whole thing is gonna go with now that he's passed away. If you know, if this is the end of the chapter for Hassan Campbell and uh B Stinger. Um, but Hassan Campbell, he wasn't just harping on the Bambaataa thing like Gene Square was with Diddy. But the one thing is, uh, he didn't take action when he had opportunity to take action on the allegations that he was putting out there about Bambaataa. We do know that Ronald Savage, B Stinger, I had him on my channel a few times, and he's forgiven Africa Bambaataa for what he has done with him. So for B Stinger, I could say that, you know, he made peace with Bam before Bam passed away. So that might help B Stinger. I don't know, maybe it'll help him get over it, maybe it won't, but at least he's looked the man in his face and had a conversation with him before he passed away. So I'm sure that will give him some type of closure. As far as how Son Campbell go, I don't. I know I seen a picture of him in the later days, so he may have forgiven him too. But you know, all the stories that we was hearing about Africa Bambaataa, now that you know this hip hop pioneer has died, I don't think that we'll hear any more about these allegations against him. You might have some people uh, sue his estate because you know once they figure out that he's gone and they start looking into his finances and see how much money he left behind, then you may see people want to start trying to sue his estate and try to get money that way. We've seen it happen with people like Michael Jackson and others. After they died, allegations come and people are trying to sue their state. So I don't know, but the Bronx rapper and DJ helped introduce hip hop to the mainstream and was also accused of child sex abuse. The American rapper and DJ Afrika Bambaataa has died at age 67. The musician died in Philadelphia around 3 a.m. this morning due to complications from cancer. The Hip Hop Alliance, a group headed by musician Curtis Blow, wrote, "Today we acknowledge the transition of our foundational architect of hip hop culture, Afrika Bambaataa. As the founder of the Universal Zulu Nation, Afrika Bambaataa helped shape the early identity of hip hop as a global movement rooted in peace, unity, love, and having fun. The group acknowledged the allegations of child sexual abuse made against the singer. At the same time, we recognize that his legacy is complex and has been the subject of serious conversations within our community. As an organization committed to truth, accountability, and the preservation of hip hop culture, we believe it is important to hold space for all voices while continuing to uplift what empowers and protects the people." The Bronx native played a key role in shaping hip hop in the 1980s, notably with the 1982 hit Planet Rock. He collaborated with a range of artists, including John Lennon, George Clinton, and James Brown. Born Lance Taylor, he formed the hip hop collective Universal Zulu Nation in the late 1970s, inspired by the father of hip hop, DJ Kool Herc, as well as the rest of the Zulu people of Southern Africa. In 1982, Bambaataa began playing electronic music as a part of the group EBN OZN. He was inspired by European electronic groups such as Kraftwerk. I know y'all remember Kraftwerk. Some of y'all, if y'all was into DJing and breakdancing. Um, the German band that had the German band that he famously sampled in the Planet Rock. The single became a club hit and helped to establish electro funk as a genre. In 1985, he helped to create the landmark album Sun City as part of Artists United Against Apartheid, a group of musicians who teamed up to protest apartheid in South Africa. Other musicians involved included Bob Dylan, Bono, Bruce Springsteen, Joey Ramone, Run DMC, Lou Reed, and Bonnie Raitt. Bambaataa continued releasing albums throughout the following decades. In 1986, Afrika Bambaataa and Soul Sonic Force, Planet Rock, collected his previous singles and found him collaborating with hip hop artists such as Melly Mel and Trouble Funk. He released his final album, Dark Matter Moving at the Speed of Light, in 2004. In later life, the musician was accused of child sexual abuse and trafficking. In 2016, multiple Bronx men accused Bambaataa of molestation. The musician denied the accusations in a statement saying they are baseless and are a cowardly attempt to tarnish his reputation and legacy in hip hop at this time. A man who said he was a former bodyguard for Bambaataa, Shamsuddin Sharif Ali Bey, said, "I've walked in I've walked in on stuff where I say, what the F is this going on?" He travels with late teens, those are the ones he takes overseas with him. When I went with him on tour in the States, I would stay in one room and he would have boys in the room with him. In May 2025, an anonymous plaintiff accused Bambaataa of 4 years of sexual abuse, which started in 1992 when the plaintiff was 12 years old. The musician lost the civil case by default and he failed to appear when he failed to appear in court. So in May of last year, like a year ago, he lost the civil case by not appearing in court. I wonder what that judgment was. Let me look real quick. They say he lost, but they don't tell you how much the judgment was for. But like I said, it's a double-edged sword when it comes to Bambaataa because you got some people that ain't got no love for him, on the strength of these allegations. Um, then you got, people that protected him all these years, like they protected other people all these years. The music industry protects people, like R. Kelly was protected for years until they had no more use for him or they wanted his publishing, But all you can't tell me all these years with all these allegations against R. Kelly that the record label didn't know, his managers didn't know about all this other stuff. So it's it's crazy. But I feel like there was people out there that protected Bambaataa as well. You know, they always got to protect the money. But like I said, this is going to be a touchy situation because regardless to the allegations, none of these people, you know, uh, whether it was the Hassan Camels or the B Stingers, the Ronald Savages, none of these people went to court and took legal action to hold Bambaataa accountable. So now he gets to go to the grave without, facing his accusers in court. So a lot of people are going to give him praise. A lot of people are going to celebrate him and his death. You know, you best believe he's going to get a lot of love um or his funeral services. The whole hip hop community is going to come out and when people are looking and they mad and they feeling like, oh, oh, he was this, he was that. Well, he wasn't convicted of it. And you had the Hassans and you had the bee stingers that had ample time to press charges and get him in court, and they didn't. You know, and which is to each his own. You know, they forgave him. They went and met up with him afterwards, after, they got on the internet and, accused him of all this stuff. But for some reason, they chose to forgive him, and if they chose to forgive him, what can we say? Or what can we do? You know what I'm saying? If they was allegedly molested by him and they had the opportunity to go to court, you know what I'm saying, and press charges, and they even had some extension that put in place for them to go, and they didn't do it, and they chose to let the man live his life and not see him in court. It ain't nothing we can say about it because it wasn't none of us. They had the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, B Stinger, he forgave him. He went up to him, he talked to him, they had a conversation. He forgave him, you know. And like I said, I see Hassan in pictures with him, you know, after the allegations. So it's like, yo, if they forgive him, ain't nothing we could do about it. You know what I'm saying? You know that saying, if they like it, then we love it. If they like what he did to him, then we love it. We can't hold him accountable for something that the accusers aren't holding him accountable for, and they had ample time to take him to court. You know what I'm saying? So rest in peace to Afrika Bambaataa. Um, I guess we will never know if all the allegations against him was true on a criminal or a civil level, because they didn't do nothing as far as trying to take him to court. So when everybody's celebrating Afrika Bambaataa, don't try to hold his feet to the fire because he's not going to feel it. He's no longer with us no more. May he rest in peace. And you are going to see a lot of people celebrating his legacy, not the accusations that he was accused of, but what he contribute to hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And may he rest in peace. And we got to give him props for being one of the founding fathers of hip hop outside of you know his criminal or civil allegations, because many of us, whether it's Pac, whether it's me in the tunnel, whether it's Big, we all come from, we are all seeds that the Bambatas, the Russell Simmons, the Cool Hercs, the Andre Harrells, the Fly Ties, Cold Chillin'. We are all babies of these guys that created something that went on for over 50 years. And some of y'all never even have to work a real job because of hip hop. You grew up old enough in the culture where you could go and learn to rap or go and learn to DJ or be a graffiti artist or, a break dancer. And that took your career way beyond the 9 to 5. So a lot of y'all didn't even have 9 to 5 jobs. You know what I'm saying? So some of y'all became DJs and your parents bought you equipment and you was able to DJ and never even have to worry about the job and became a professional DJ, you know, and been DJing and still DJing all your life. Some of y'all became dancers and became choreographers and did choreography for multi-million-dollar videos. Like, some of us became music video directors and got into movies like F. Gary Gray. You know, like a lot has came from Afrika Bambaataa, Kool Herc, Russell Simmons, and a lot of these guys. They inspired a whole world. It ain't even a generation. They inspired a whole world to get down with hip hop. Whether it's from the clothing, the fashion, whether it's rapping, whether it's dancing, whether it's DJing, like graffiti, it don't even matter, man. A lot of us, myself included, you know, hip hop has brought us really far. You know what I'm saying? So on that note, you know, thank you, Afrika Bambaataa, for starting or being one of the people that started hip hop music, because I couldn't even imagine what life would be without hip hop. Can you imagine if we never had hip hop? It was just rock and roll and R&B music, and hip hop never existed. Can you imagine that? It would be no Nas, it wouldn't be no Jay-Z, we wouldn't be talking about Tupac, we wouldn't be talking about Big, we wouldn't have no Wu-Tang, like no Jay-Z, like no DMX. Can you imagine if we did not have hip hop? No BBD, like, yo, bro. If we didn't have hip hop, man, can you imagine how different the world would be? Never learning how to break dance, never having a B Street movie, never having a Wild Style movie, never having Rap City. Like, you understand what our lives would be, man? Paul, good looking, Paul. You said it, Choke. We celebrate Bambaata's legacy. I'm 60 from Brooklyn, the genesis of hip hop, produced not only music, but the way of life. But a way of life. Choke, you are a living legend yourself. One. Good looking, Paul. Appreciate you. Much love. Yeah, man. But damn, it wouldn't have been no NWA, no Ice T, no Schoolie D in Philly, like no Fresh Prince of Bel Air, no In the House with LL. Like, can you imagine? Yeah, Yo MTV Raps. Yo, man, the world would have been boring for our era. You know what I'm saying? It would have been boring for our era without no hip hop. I can't even imagine, Sugar Hill Gang. Yeah, no Heavy D, no Video Music Box. Can you imagine our life without hip hop, bro? So no, we not definitely not celebrating Africa Bambaata's sexual preference, but we are celebrating him, DJ Kool Herc, Bronx River, for them creating a lifestyle for many of us, you know, man, we wouldn't have had no FUBU, we wouldn't have had no Carl Kana. Like, bro, we probably wouldn't have had Menace to Society, Boys in the Hood. Like, by the grace of God, man, thank you, man. Thank you, Bambaataa, for hip hop. You know, your sexual preference, that ain't what we here to discuss right now. To each his own. May he rest in peace. So now, y'all all who hated on Diddy, y'all niggas better start marking y'all calendars right now. I'm telling you, Diddy is coming home. Diddy's coming home to you, baby. Diddy's coming. Diddy's coming. Pause. Diddy is coming home, y'all. Earlier they had a his appeal session, and I sat down and I listened to it all the way through. I started to go live, but I didn't want to go live and talk about it while it was going on because I wouldn't be able to focus. But Diddy had his appeal today in a argument, which they had a great argument that the judge really sentenced Diddy according to the stuff that he was found not guilty on, which was coercion and sex trafficking. And so with that being said, they arguing today was, yo, his sentence was too severe. And then they went and looked at everybody that was sentenced with the Mann Act, and Diddy got more time than anybody that ever got sentenced for the Mann Act, right? So, hold on a second. Let me read this real quick. Federal appeals court judges questioned during oral arguments today whether a roughly 4-year prison term given to Diddy for his convictions on prostitution related charges was too harsh. The 3-judge panel of the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in Manhattan did not immediately rule the hearing after hearing 2 hours of argument. At the conclusion, Circuit Judge William Nardini called it an exceptionally difficult case that raises questions of first impression, not only for this court, but for any federal court in the country. Throughout the arguments, judges questioned whether a judge improperly considered elements of acquitted charges to sentence Cohn to what his lawyer, Alexandria Shapiro, said was the most prison time ever given someone convicted of the same charges with similar criminal history. And that was the thing, like in court today, because the prosecution kind of dug their own grave, so to speak. Because when the judges was asking them, all right, when y'all sentence him, like when you look at other cases and you look at this, do you feel like he was sentenced too severely? And even though they said yes in a roundabout way, they kept saying, well, and and the judge is like, yeah, yeah, exactly. Like you said all that to say what? You didn't answer my question. So seeing that had me like, oh, so these judges, it was 3 of them. 2 out of the 3 of them sound like, I ain't gonna say like they was fighting for Puff, but they sound like they was being very fair. The other one was going strictly by the book, so you couldn't really tell where they were going. Not saying the other ones wasn't going by the book, but the one that I'm saying is going by the book, that person wasn't giving you, oh, he's leaning more towards Puff or he's leaning more towards the prosecution. The other two sounded like they was leaning more towards the defense for what, with the stuff they was asking the prosecution. And the prosecution, I think they knew they were jammed up, and they tried their best to try to clean it up and try to speak for the judge, but I don't think they did a good job. And I think that if if the appeal don't get overturned, then I'm willing to bet $1 to a donut that they're gonna reduce Puff's sentence. And when they reduce Puff's sentence, he gonna have time served. Assistant U.S. Attorney Christy Slavic, arguing for the government, challenged Shapiro's claim, saying that the 4-year, 2-month prison term given to Combs was below what federal sentencing guidelines called for and was in line with similar convictions in the second court. Combs, currently in federal prison in New Jersey, is challenging his conviction and prison sentence. He was convicted last July under the Federal Mann Act, which bans transporting people across state lines for any sexual crime. But he was acquitted of sex trafficking and racketeering charges that carried the potential for a life sentence. In sentencing, Combs' judge said, Mr. Combs, you're being sentenced for the offense of conviction, not the crimes he was acquitted of. However, under the law, the court shall consider the nature of the offense and the characteristics of the defendant. The judge also cited law which states that no limitation shall be placed on the background, character, and conduct that a judge can consider. During Thursday arguments, Shapiro asked the appeals panel for a speedy decision. Combs, 56, has been behind bars since September of 2024. The Federal Bureau of Prisons says he is scheduled for release in April of 2028, which is 2 years from now. So, which means he'll be doing like 4 years. His attorneys say Combs' conviction should be reversed, or he should at least be freed and resentenced to less time. Despite extensive written arguments on the subject, there was no discussion Thursday about the claims by Combs' lawyers that his conviction should be reversed on the grounds that the First Amendment protects sexual encounters between his girlfriends and male sex workers because they were sometimes filmed and amounted to amateur pornography. There was an extensive discussion, though, about his lawyer's arguments that Sumerian wrongly considered evidence of fraud and coercion that they said the jury rejected as it exonerated him on the most serious charges. Combs' trial last year exposed the private life of one of the most influential figures in music. The case featured testimony about violence, drugs, and sexual performances that witnesses said he called freak offs or hotel nights. He did not testify. His defense team acknowledged that he could be violent, but argued that prosecutors were straining to make a federal crime out of his personal life. So, in a nutshell, they did sentence Puff severely. I feel like they over sentenced R. Kelly. You know, um, by the grace of God, Puff still got money. Because if he didn't have money, you would not be seeing all these appeals and attempts at appeals and all this different stuff to try to get him out of there. But listening to uh, the defense argument today, I'm willing to bet that they're going to give him a time reduction. They go. I don't know if they're going to drop or reverse the charges, but listening to the judges, listening to the defense, and listening to the prosecution today, which I feel like the prosecution did a horrible job, right? I'm willing to bet in the next, I don't know how fast they make decisions on appeals, but I'll give it 2 weeks tops, right? In 2 weeks, I believe Diddy will be out. And only way I feel like he's going to be out is I feel like I don't think this is going to be an overturned conviction, but I feel like from what I heard today, and you could go listen to it for yourself. I feel like Diddy defense made a great argument, and I feel like the prosecution they had nothing for the argument, nothing. They had nothing for the argument, and to me, it feel like they wanted to agree with the defense, but that's not their job to do that. And I feel like they wanted to agree with the judges, but that's not their job. So they try to do everything they can to try to stick to their guns. But we all know that Diddy received a hard sentence when he was found not guilty of the more serious crimes. And for him to get 4 years in jail for paying some dudes who came across state lines to freak off with him and his girlfriends is bananas to me because why isn't the company that hired these workers that did that Diddy paid them, why aren't none of them being charged? None of the sex workers are being charged or the escorts. Uh Cassie and Jane Doe, they would have been charged, but they gave them immunity because they were co-conspirators. So they got immunity. They would have been charged. So how does Diddy go to jail for purchasing a service from a company and nobody at the company or none of the sex workers get charged in illegal prostitution, but Diddy gets charged for paying for a service from this company, but nobody at this company, not none of the workers or not none or nobody that works at the company, they get a charge. That's like me driving down the street soliciting a prostitute and they lock me up and the prostitute don't get charged with selling me coochie and they not looking for her pimp for putting her out on the street. Like, so I get charged for paying this woman to have sex with me, but you're not going to charge her for selling illegal sex, and you're not going to charge her company or her pimp for putting her out on the street. So I can get charged with a crime from purchasing a product from a person that's supposed to be illegal, But the product that I'm purchasing, you don't arrest the person that's selling this service, or you're not arresting a dealer who's putting them out on the street or putting them on the website or putting them in the backstage and back page of the magazine. You're not, so the person that's going to get my money can't get charged at all. But I could go to jail for 4 years, and this company, Cowboys and Angels, they could still be up. They could still, these guys still could be working for this company. And I go to jail for 4 years, and they still run their business, and they still sending men out state to state to different women or different couples, where I go to jail for 4 years. Come on now. That makes no sense. So I give it 2 weeks. Like, and if Diddy don't get out on this one, money ain't everything. Money ain't everything. Because for one, Diddy never even got a bail because he's black. We seen all the other people that had the similar charges like Diddy get bail. He didn't get a bail. He even offered them 50 million. And they went like, where was Diddy going? That nigga, he's just as famous as Snoop. He can't run. He can't hide nowhere. So, what's today? April 9th? Diddy will be home. Let's see. Diddy will be home by Earth Day. Worst case scenario, he'll be home by April 24th. Watch. They gonna cut his time. And what they cut his time to, it's gonna be time served. And he gonna be out. They said that he had a lot of stuff. Remember that he had about 6, 7 guns. None of those came up in the trial. All right, if you think he ain't coming home, sit around and wait for it. It's coming. Choke no joke, you already know. Y'all know what it is, man. I'll be back tomorrow, 7 p.m. Rest in peace, Afrika Bambaataa. We celebrate your legacy in hip hop, not nothing criminal or civil. You know what I mean? Diddy, we see you in 2 weeks, Diddy. Oh man, they gonna be sick when Diddy get out, boy. You watch. Who going to the Diddy party? Choke no joke. Hit the subscribe button if you're new here. Shout out to my man Paul. Thanks for all the super love you be giving. Ramona, you know what it is. Choke no joke. I'll be back tomorrow. All right? You know what it is.
What's going on, bro?
Yo, Cliff, what up, man? Yeah, man, I just got your call. I missed it. My bad. What's going on?
Bro.
Yo, man, I got an issue, man. On everything I love, man. These kids got me tight, man. I go and I find out that both of my sons, man, is involved in some kind of gang activity, man. I work too damn hard to keep them away from that life, man, and for them to choose that, I just feel totally disrespected, man. I need you to come talk to these little niggas, man, before I just hurt one of these niggas, man.
What? Come on, man. You ain't raised them guys like that, man. You serious?
Gang life, man.
Say word.
Hey, man, I don't know. They got somebody in their ear influencing them, man, and I need you to come talk and holler at these little niggas, man, because, look, I'm at my wit's end, man.
Nah, man, I'm over there.
Well, thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
I'll holler at you in a minute.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
All right, my nigga. One.
One.
You okay?
Yeah. DJ 2, you know what it is. Youngster, you are me. Is the reason they call me OG. I saw things you didn't see. Sit down and listen to me. Hey yo, come here, man. Oh, you think I'm corny, huh? Oh, really? I see more guns than Tommy. Who's Tommy? Was I in the army? No. Nah, I got my stripes though. Now listen, broke many nights. Doing what? Pitching that white. No matter hard or soft, trust me, I'm cut from a different cloth. Now look at me, I don't knock my man off. If I gotta kill him, I step off. You know why? When you kill a trife, find yourself killing all your life. Word is mine. You have to live, little nigga, to experience life. Trust me, your mom is the one. There at the end of the night. Let's go. Youngster, you are me. Yeah. It's the reason they call me OG. Let's go. I saw things you didn't see. Sit down and listen to me. Youngster, you are me. It's the reason why they call me OG. I saw things you didn't see. Sit down and listen to me. Come here, man. Listen, you little jerk. They gonna tell you to put in work. What? Then they gonna give you a gun. And tell you to kill someone. Who's already a op. They really want the block. Are you serious? And you gonna take the shot. And then you go to jail. What? 3 hots in a cot. 20 flat to be down with the block. Oh, no, I don't. You thought it was your beginning. Nah, that's where you stopped. They knew the outcome and didn't let you opt out. Why? To take they opt out. You the one they'll forget about. No, they won't. Youngster, you are me. It's the reason they call me OG. I saw things you didn't see. Yeah. Sit down and listen to me. Youngster, you are me. It's the reason why they call me OG. Okay. Saw things you didn't see. Sit down and listen to me.
Joke, no joke. Yeah. It's joke, no joke. Joke, no joke. Jigga, joke, no